Okay, so welcome to the Monster Maverick Show. It is June 9th, 2020. And hey, that is not my fault. So, the past week or so, the MSP Waves servers have crapped the bed apparently, and Ron's been working tirelessly to fix them. So, the 30 seconds of dead air you heard was that's the ad slot time that even if I wanted to, I couldn't say anything during it because my feed is not routed in until it hits 30 seconds after the hour. So still some kinks to be worked out, and maybe that'll be worked out for Scaredy Cat show coming up next in an hour. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. So, Ag still is number one for worst DJ. No questions about it. I did almost forget to load up my theme music. And what's MSP Waves? You're listening to MSP Waves right now. That's the what is it, Ron? Distributed broadcast something. It's not a radio network because it's not over radio, but it's a interactive internet stream, or I don't know. They have some term for it, but basically you're listening to MSP Waves right now, whether you're listening live on the website through the one of the streams, or through Discord, or if you're watching this later as a playback or a replay on the recording. This is MSP Waves, and you can go to mspwaves.com, and has voice to skull technology, social interactive broadcast network. I can never remember that. You need a catchier thing than social interactive broadcast network. But yeah, voice to skull is the best. And actually, with dcity's new update, you can get voice to skull in your technology. So yeah, this show is all about Splinterlands. I'm going to be branching out a little bit today. We're going to be talking about Splinterlands, but also going to be talking about dcity and how you might want to incorporate the two of them together, depending on what it is you're trying to accomplish exactly. So we got a few people already in the room. We got Foggy Bottom, we got the Fox, we got the baby, Lax, Miss, Ron, and Chazek was in here a minute ago. I guess he dropped out. But that's okay. People come, people go. So, it's been a week since the last episode, and last episode we talked all about the Hive migration, because Splinterlands had just completed its migration to Hive. I'm still having a couple of technical issues with it, where I had some player accounts that I created on Steam, and then they created mirror accounts on Hive, but I don't have the keys to those accounts, so I can't actually play with them on Hive now, so that's kind of an issue. Still waiting to hear back from Yabba or whoever on tech support. So, yeah, but other than that, it's gone pretty flawlessly, which I am pleasantly surprised at. I mean, Hive is a Steam clone, or a fork, or whatever you want to call it. So it does make sense that the technical challenges wouldn't be too great. Hey, Crypto, hey, Crim. Crim likes to show up to shows and then just not listen, but that's okay. We got VC Dragon. Welcome. So yeah, so Hive or Splinterlands has been on Hive for a week and change now, and things are working. Personally, I haven't had any problems with broadcast transactions where I submit a team or I do a search and it says transaction failed, ignore. I haven't had any of those kind of problems since the migration to Hive has occurred, so that's all good. She may be watching. So I think all that is to the good. Someone gonna get called out. I'm not afraid. I ain't scared. We'll call people out. Yeah. So the game is working, which is a nice change, and surprisingly, a lot of the bots have kind of taken a breather. I don't know if they're coming back or not. I assume that they are, but I have noticed. I mean, if you're watching on the web stream, you can see my my screen here, and if we go to the leaderboard, and I'll post this in the chat. Ooh, I'm 151. Nice. All right, so let's take a look here at the current leaderboard. So you notice that there aren't any TH12s. There's no BJI. There's no a bunch of people. So like I said, I have to assume that they're coming back. But for now, it's been it's been nice actually. So we'll see how the botnets respond. Crypto is not human. So yeah. We'll have to see. I did hear some scuttlebutt on the bot networks that so if you're an individual player and you run out of resource credits, Splinterlands will delegate you some just for being a player. But if you're running a bot network, they won't. They say, yeah, you're on your own, which I think makes is fine. And if you're running a huge bot network, that requires buying in a lot of Hive and powering that up and delegating and doing all that again. So so they might not be willing to do that. And one thing, I took a quick look right before. I really got to turn the notification off right before the what do you call it? The show started. I took a quick look at the top 10 values on if you go into the SM Voters Hut channel, you can do the bot commands, and I don't keep a history of this, but it looks like J69 is selling off some of his cards. I think is between the TH12 Moon and the J6969 accounts. I think the total there was higher in the past than that is now. So he may be selling off some of his collection, and if that's the case, then we might see lesser bot activity in the future. Now, the bot activity has two impacts. So one is on just regular season play, and the other is in the tournaments. And the tournaments, so we got anytime tournaments, and Ag said he was going to, after they did the migration, there weren't any anytime tournaments listed. So Ag said he was going to list some, and it looks like he has listed a few. So those are back in the running here. So if you are into that kind of thing, these are still single round tournaments. So they've said, I think it was, yeah, you only need $2 to $3 of Hive in your account. Yeah, it's true, but it is kind of a pain to set all that up. Welcome people that are coming in. So yeah, so the anytime tournaments are still single round. I forget who it was who said that. One of the team members said that the multi-round is still it's on the list, but it's been pushed back by a thing or two. And probably the most important of those things is this. So this was posted in the Discord a couple days ago, and this is a mock-up of what the battle screen is going to look like in the near future. Now the big change is over on the right-hand side there. You have the rating, 185 points to Diamond 1, and then collection score, 2111 Dark Energy Crystals value to Diamond 1. So that is the tiering gatekeeping of the leagues that they're working on. So that number is just a number. I mean, don't pay any attention to the value of the Dark Energy Crystals there. But what they're doing is they're setting minimum collection values to enter the different leagues. So one of the problems that have been happening is that we've been having these level 1 accounts with all just phantom cards or all level 1 cards or whatever, getting up into the higher leagues, and people are saying, well, this is nonsense and it's annoying and it's just it's a disincentive to play and to build up your collection if a bot can just do this at level 1. So whenever this is finished and whatever numbers they come up with, you're going to have a collection that is worth a certain amount of dark energy crystals based on their burn value in order to be able to play in that next league level. And again, we don't know what those numbers are yet, and I'm sure there will be some tweaking involved there. But anytime, so I think that'll be like an 80% good solution. Um, yeah, so it'll weed out a lot of those level 1 accounts. Um, Hopefully we don't see a lot of new players leave when the rewards drop from diamond to bronze. It's a possibility. So it's an incentive to buy cards. It's not an incentive to... Crim's defending herself now. So it's an incentive to buy cards. It's not an incentive to necessarily build your deck, right? Because you could just go to the marketplace, buy the cheapest card you can find, on a Dark Energy Crystal adjusted value, and then just stock up on those. Patient Zero is asking, how do the worldwide riots affect the Dark Energy Crystals, and is the overabundance of Dark Energy Crystals causing the riots? Possibly. It's mind games. So, I always pick on the Rusty Android, and it's just a very unloved card, and it goes for super cheap. If we go to the market and we look at the Android, so it's going for 1.4 cents, and you can buy a lot of them. There's 5,388 cards available on the market right now, and that's not even BCX. That's just cards. So BCX is actually much higher. And so what's to stop an account from just buying a bunch of those to get to that Dark Energy Crystal threshold and continuing with the level 1 cards? So it's not by implementing this solution, like I said, it's like an 80% good solution. That last 20% of the people who want to exploit the system, they still will be able to. It might be slightly more expensive by buying these cheap cards, but it's certainly not prohibitive, I don't think. So that is interesting, and there's been a lot of talk in the chat over the last day or two about gatekeeping the tournaments, which I don't necessarily agree with, because if you have a diamond level account but you're playing in a silver tournament, it is a completely different game. Your cards are all different. You might have a wider variety than somebody who just has a silver deck. Fewer golds. I'm saying it might be. My point is that you can buy on a Dark Energy Crystal adjusted basis whatever's cheapest. So anyway, point is that if you have the cards, I think you should be able to enter a tournament. So, and let the chips fall where they may, basically. So yeah, gold cards that should have good ROI or scarcity. Yeah, I mean, a lot of golds are very cheaply priced on compared to their regular counterparts on a Dark Energy Crystal adjusted basis. That is surprisingly hard to say. Yeah, so like I said, if the people are out there who want to exploit the system, there's that. So on the other hand, if you are selling those cards, it might be a good time, because might be able to get some good prices for those formerly unloved cards. The promos, the alphas, there's a lot of promos that don't see very much play at all, especially the seed promos. Let's see what we got here. What's a good one? Let's look at the dragons. Yeah, like the Fiendish Harpy is probably a good one. Red Dragon does get a lot of love, so let's see. Crypto saying he got a gold foil Maverick and Tyrus to level 4, cheaper than normal yesterday. He's not complaining. Yeah, I mean, whenever I'm buying cards, I always want to look at the gold ones because you get the dark energy crystal bonus for using them. So a lot of times it makes sense to level those up, that rather than buying the normals, and people just don't really pay attention to them because people, it feels like it's more expensive and all and sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. Just you got to check. Speaking of the market value, I did a look there. Market cap, here we go. Pretty level with a week ago. Still pretty much at all-time highs, which is nice. Krim says she's a fiendish harpy. No comment. So, yeah. I'm totally distracted now. All right. I did check out Rafalski's site, steamweb.pl. It is working now. So apparently it was working before. It was just the dip in activity from the Hive migration last week that made it look like it was kind of broken. So battles per day is looking good. We got pretty much all-time highs, which I like to see. And that's interesting considering the bots aren't playing, or at least the biggest bot network isn't playing. So what does that say really about who's playing? I think that's a positive positive indication. And then active users again hitting a high, I think 4862. Let's scroll back on this date. So let's see, 2019 01 to today. Our active users, yeah, so that's actually way up if we look at the long history. So that's looking good. And Agrod has said, he's been bragging in the Discord that he's been running a Facebook campaign that has gotten, last I saw it was 600 new users, which is fantastic. Of course, those will be free users to start, or at least the vast majority, and then some proportion of those will become paid users. In fact, I was looking on Reddit the other day, and let me see if I can actually find the thread. I'm going to do that in a different window here. Let's see. So we got somebody was asking who uses steammonsters.com still. You shouldn't use steammonsters.com. You should use splinterlands.com. And I got multiple Reddit accounts, so I got to make sure I log into the right one. Come on. So yeah. So like I said, some proportion of those 600 or whatever will convert to paid, and let's see. It was official Steam Monsters, I think it was. And apparently that post has been deleted. Super. Okay. But here's some people saying, like, I discovered Splinterlands a week ago, and here's what I think. Now, whether it's positive or negative, I have not read this before. Whether it's positive or negative doesn't matter. It's the fact that I discovered Splinterlands a week ago. So, user growth is what it's all about. Let's see. Let's see. I used to play Magic the Gathering, blah, blah, blah. Before committing a small amount of my hard-earned cash to the game, I had a hunt around for other blockchain games. None of them had the simplicity and polish of Splinterlands in my mind. And a bit of investigation also showed that a shaky global financial situation and some corporate rearranging amongst some of the people behind the game might also mean that the cards are now at an all-time low. I do like, however, that the game is firmly fixed in the Steam blockchain. Well, it needs to reevaluate that, which can work through a witnessing system, and that all cards and matches are processed by the blockchain. This, to me, seems solid. I might come back in a few days with some more thoughts. I hope you didn't mind the read. Oh, and Holozor responded. Okay. So, yeah, that's cool. It's cool that, people are talking about stuff. So that is kind of the key to the whole thing. And, that's user growth is going to drive the ecosystem growth, just like anything else. So I'm happy to see that that people are talking about it. The post I had responded to, which apparently since been deleted, was saying that it's like, hey, I started the game, but I'm not winning any dark energy crystals, so uh, so what's going on? They're saying somebody responded saying you have to buy the starter kit in order to qualify. If you're playing for free, you don't get rewards. That's the deal. Patient Zero wants some free tax advice. I do not give free tax advice, so there's that. That's my advice. Pay for tax advice because it's worth probably several times what you pay for it. But something times zero, still zero. Anyway, we got some press from DAP Radar. The graphics on this article just look weird to me. It looks like somebody highlighted it, like moused over and highlighted, and then copied it. But yeah, so this is kind of funny. So learn more about the #1 game on DAP Radar, and they have a little blurb. It's very, very little. Move to Panama. That's decent tax advice. Puerto Rico, if you want to stay in the U.S. but not pay U.S. taxes, Puerto Rico's your jam. Anyway, so if you look at the rankings, Splinterlands is still #1. I did notice something really interesting though. So here is the top, however many I got in that capture, the top 10, and the #1 is Splinterlands, which is great. 5.2 thousand users. Which, again, in terms of games, not that much, but in terms of crypto, is obviously #1 because you can look at multiple ranking sites, and it's either #1, 2, or 3 on all of them. So that's cool. Prospectors is up there, 2,000. Crypto Dynasty, which I had not heard of before, but I don't really follow EOS games. But then I saw #5 is Steemit with 1.7 thousand users. #6 is Hive-blog with 1.6 thousand users. And then #8 is Peak D with 1.4 thousand. Now, I know there's a lot of overlap between the Hive-blog and the Peak D, but there's also a lot of uniques among those. So between the two, those are probably well above Steemit's user base. So I found that, kind of interesting. I mean, doesn't really mean much for Splinterlands, but if you are involved in the whole thing, between Hive and Steam, then you might find that interesting. Anyway, so the other thing I wanted to check on, which we do a lot of this live, is number of packs left. Not that many till the next airdrop. So we've had 2 legendary summoners as the most recent 2 airdrops, and we've got 17,000 to go. So let's see if we can. Let's see how many booster packs we've been selling lately. Can I zoom in on this? Yeah, probably not. Let's say just over the past week, how many have been sold since the beginning of June. Let's see, we got, wrong year, 2020. All right, tournaments, packs, and orbs. Okay, so let's look at booster packs. So over the last 8 days, 0 starter packs. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's being recorded correctly or not. Buying orbs in the shop does not qualify you for the airdrops. No. You have to buy untamed packs in order to qualify for the untamed airdrops. Hey, beat your first quest! Congratulations. That is super fun. So, been selling 738 packs a day. That's pretty good. So what do we have? We got 83,536. So that means 100,000 minus 83,536. So that's 16,464. And if we divide that by 738 a day, that's 22 more days. You know, if pack sales remain constant, 22 more days until we hit the next airdrop, which is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So last week it was like 37, and now we're down to 22. And usually the last you know few like 2,000 or so go like instantly. So I would not be surprised to see not 22 days, but something more like 16, just because of that FOMO to get into the airdrop for the next card. Now we don't know what the next card is going to be. They haven't even said if it's going to be a summoner, because there is room for other cards still to be part of the airdrop. And Revised Sociology says the orbs on the engines are quite good value. He bought a few recently. I think the orbs are a super value. I agree. The orbs cards are fantastic in general, but they don't really get the attention or the love that I think they deserve. And yeah, right now they are pretty cheap. If we look at steam-engine, they're going for $1.26, and at hive-engine they're going for $1.53. So there's some arbitrage there potentially. Let's take a little closer look at that. So let me see if I can actually open my spreadsheet. My Splinterland spreadsheet takes like a full minute to open. Yeah, armorers are great. So let's see. We got so I built a little calculator in my Splinterland spreadsheet so that I could actually figure out the arbitrage opportunities. And there's not a huge, well, we've got some weird numbers here. So on hive-engine, the sell orders are at 5 apiece, which is kind of strange. Looks like somebody's just trying to make a market there. But let's see. Alright, so today is 6/9/20. Yeah, I'm the man with the spreadsheet. Let's see if I can actually add it to... Oh, it's on my other screen. So here, let's do... I gotta make it visible. How do I make it visible? Excel. Let's move that up. There we go. Okay, so now if you're watching the screen, you should be able to see my my spreadsheet. So what I do is I price everything in Satoshis. So if I go over to, let's see, Hive BTC is almost the same as it was a week ago, 2565, and Steam BTC is catching up, 234, 2330, and okay, so on steam-engine, the bid is 5.57 by 7.97. And on hive-engine, we've got 5.2 versus 6.0, well, let's just call it 6.1. All right, so the so if I get rid of these other rows, let's just hide that. So in Satoshi terms, there is some arb to be had. You know, you could buy on hive-engine and sell in the middle of the spread on steam-engine, and you know, maybe there's buyers, maybe there's not, but basically basically it looks like hive-engine is having better prices at the moment. So it's not enough arb to really, you know, liquidate, but it is enough to if you're looking to buy, you know, you'd want to prefer the hive-engine market over the steam-engine market, even if you're looking to sell. So yeah, that's super interesting that the hive-engine is getting more transaction or more traction there. Uh, so yeah, but uh, can't go without checking out the dark energy crystals. So pretty flat over the last week, and let's since we checked the arbs on orbs, let's check it on dark energy crystals while we're here. Dark energy crystals and dark energy crystals. So here we are at, this is steam engine, so we're at 0.00336 by 0.00357, and hive-engine we are at 0.00311 by 0.00318. Okay, so yeah, so hive-engine has a lower ask and a higher bid, so the spread is inside of the steam engine spread. So I mean, again, that's gonna that in just general markets, that would indicate that there's more liquidity available on hive-engine. So I mean, I think that makes a bit of sense considering the migration, but there's still plenty of stuff on steam engine. I wonder if we could find out how much dark energy crystals is on steam engine versus hive engine now. And yeah, maybe we could check out the Explorer. But whatever the case, in the zoo. So one of the things that I've been doing lately is, I'm all about the ROI, and I've been taking some of my Splinterlands earnings and reinvesting them into Gerber's game, which is Gerber and Nice and Mike C. Make called dcity, and I've talked about dcity before, but it's they just released an update. What was it, yesterday, the day before? I don't know, but they've added to the complexity of the game quite a bit. So there's a link to the game, and then I don't know if they have an affiliate or not. They should, if they don't. This is kind of what the main screen looks like. I should probably go back to my web browser screen so you can actually see that. And it's cool. So 6th, so 3 days ago. All right. So the great thing about Splinter, one of the great things about Splinterlands is that it takes, to fight a battle, it takes like 3 minutes. You do a search. Then you have a minute or two to select your team, and then you watch the battle. So the whole thing can be done in just a couple minutes. But that's just one match. And if you're playing your quest, or if you're playing a tournament, or whatever it is, you're generally playing multiple matches. So it might take like 30 minutes to an hour total, and that's kind of low-level playing. I mean, some people will spend all day playing tournaments and ranked games and everything. dcity is specifically designed to take very little time, which I love about it. So, so they came out with this update, adding more types of buildings that you can buy, and more effects, and they introduced an education, a creativity, and technology components to it, which is just adding more layers to the game. But still, I mean, what happens is you buy cards, and then based on how those cards work inside your city, combined with the population and your popularity and everything, you get a certain amount of income from that, and that income comes in two forms. So if you're in the top, I think it's top 200, which is pretty easy to get into. You're going to get a portion of the pool rewards that the master account holds, each day. And you're going to get SIM income, SIM, which is a steam engine token. Hey, cat. So you're going to get SIM income, each day, and it's just once a day. So you can log in once a day, check your income, do any adjustments you want to do, and then generally, what I do is I just reinvest. So some people have different strategies, or different people have different strategies. Some people want to buy and sell on the market, and you can get into all that and spend way more time, and that's cool. But you can also just reinvest. Hive engine. hive-engine, right? It takes some adjustment, you know. I've been saying the other stuff for 2 years. Anyway, so you can get your sim income on hive-engine, and and buy more cards, and just reinvest and compound. So over the past 24, 48 hours, I bought a bunch of cards with the new edition that has been released, and so I'm into this game total probably 600, 700 sim, sorry, 600, 700 hive with all the cards that I've bought, plus reinvesting along the way. And I'm actually making, I'm making 3,300 sim per day, plus or minus a little bit based on if my city got robbed in the last 24 hours. And then I'm also getting daily rewards. I can check that on the ranking here. I think I'm number 30 something right now. Yeah, 36. So plus I'm getting 7.46 hive per day. So, and sim is pretty well pegged to 1 to 200. So 200 sim is one hive, and that's pegged multiple ways. So one is through when you buy cards, then you can buy them in hive or you can buy them in sim, and it's either 4 hive or it's 800 sim, and then and then so that's that 1 to 200 ratio. And if the price of sim, if it drops too low on the market, then there's an income tax that can be implemented by the president, who's president over all cities, and that can lower the supply of sim being distributed and thus raise the price. So I'm getting 3,300 sim a day plus 7.46 sim a day. So if we just do the math on that, 3,300 divided by 200 is 16.5 plus 7.46. So I'm making 24 hive a day in this game. So that's not too shabby. Considering I put in 600, let's say. So 600 divided by 24. I'll get my money back in 25 days. That doesn't suck. And then I'm just compounding along the way, so that'll actually be lower. But I'm still all in on the game because if you look at the market, the high price stuff is really high. Uh-oh, we got a new thing here. Okay, so people are selling. Well, some of these are ridiculous. People are selling individual cards, which you might get through chance for 800 sim. People are selling them for like 3,000, 4,000 sim. So if you are lucky enough to pull those rare cards, you can definitely flip them for a profit. My last dcity daily was over 7. That's true. So it's been a lot of fun, and the elements that have been added here with the education and the creativity and things, integrating other tokens like the CCC token from the Creative Tribe, the STEM token from Marquis STEM Geeks, and then there's the weed and the beer token, which you can all use to have different events in your city, and then you get certain potential bonuses from that. So it's it's a really great simple game, but it's like simple in the way that the levels create like exponential complexity, and yet it still only takes a couple minutes each day. So it's awesome. We got the new backgrounds, new artwork, new technology cards. The technology is going to be rough, just because the So, in order to so there's this technology tree which you can research, and researching doesn't give you the technology; it just gives you the ability to get the technology, and so that shows you the first two tiers, but then it's actually five tiers of each one. So you research the thing, you spend some sim, and then you have to get the actual card through your education um, probabilities. So maximum, you can only get 25% chance of discovering a new technology a day. Uh, but then, you know, the chances that you go through the whole technology tree means it's going to take quite a while, and it's just it's just crazy. So I think that's going to drive a lot of innovation there on the players' parts as far as how to deal with that, and what the optimal technology strategy is going to be. So, I mean, all that is to say, it's a super cool game, and if you are looking for something to do with your Splinterlands earnings, you might want to diversify into dcity and earning that way. So, I recommend it. It's fun. There's a Discord for it, which I will drop a link for here. And let's do an invite right there. Copy. So if you haven't checked it out, you should. So, um, so yeah, I mean, invest 600 hive and make 20 something a day. Doesn't suck. And Splinterlands, as much as I love, I don't think can actually match that kind of ROI. Now, maybe the ROI is too high on dcity, and it might need to be toned down. We'll have to see how that progresses. There's always tweaks along the way, but for now, I'd say jump in. I know Roland Thomas, who's one of our Leo Finance guys. He's trying to make 1 Bitcoin in dcity over the next year, which is an aggressive target, but according to my numbers, I'd be at 4 years. So, and that's assuming prices stay the same. But Hive and has not been moving a whole lot lately. Of course, it is crypto. I don't think the price of SIM will crash, but I think the inflation levels might need to be adjusted. So yeah, Hive hasn't been moving too much lately. Steam's been trying to pump a little bit, and not too successfully, but it is getting close in the rankings. I was looking on my app just I think it was yesterday. I saw it was 77 versus number 70, and right now Hive is 74 and Steam is 80, and I think that comes from CoinGecko. That's yeah, Roland is a long-term investor with Leo and dcity for sure. That is true. Yeah, Leo's been also on a tear lately. Let's see what we're looking at there. Every time it does, I dump on it. Grim, bring in the justice. So that's the Leo chart. It's been doing decently. Yeah, Gerber has his income tax, which part of the issue with any kind of system is that you need negative feedback. So like in Splinterlands, negative feedback exists in potions, it exists in burning cards, it exists in orbs, it exists in skins. Um, Possibly not enough negative feedback there, but you need some. Because any system that you have that doesn't have a negative feedback element is a runaway system, and that does not make for sustainable anything. So Splinterlands, there's only so many cards. dcity, you have the taxing system and the popularity negative feedbacks to dampen things. So those are well designed. and maybe they need tweaks, maybe not, but but at least the elements are there. So in other systems where it's just inflationary, whether it be fiat money or fiat money does have some negative feedback loops, but they've been mostly broken. Whether it's fiat money or like there's this new Steam fork called Blurt, I think, which has no downvotes. Well, it's important to have haters too, Scaredy Cat. So if you see like all 5-star reviews of things, you're always a little suspect, right? That it's like, well, are those real reviews? Because if there's not one person that had a bad experience, it's not reality. So yeah, we bring on the haters. That'll add authenticity. So I was just throwing that out there that you might want to diversify your gaming income into dcity. I'm a fan. That's all I'm saying. So just tell me where I can sell Blurt. I have no idea. I know they had an announcement the other day about how they were going. I guess they were going live soon. I saw it on Twitter. I think was it Blurt official? Was it the account? Yeah, that's it. So this is their official account. They're saying they will launch as a new chain / airdrop with a snapshot. MSP Waves condones no spend advice to use your crypto to buy finance a store value. That's right. Yeah, so just for the record, I used to have a Series 65 investment advisor license. I do not any longer. I am not your investment advisor. I'm not your tax advisor either. But, I just say stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. They say they took their snapshot, which is fine, but not when their launch is going to be. So, let's see if there's any other recent stuff. June 1, May 28th. Yeah, that's it so far. I think it's plus urban. To Gerber means to consume all of the weed in sight, more generally to steal. And Gerbered my last stuff. So, one of the things I like about Blurt is that they got rid of SBD or whatever you want to call it. I think that's a faulty system. So, Scaredy Cat had a Series 7, but it's expired. Now you can't sue him. Yeah, so I do have a few minutes left before Scaredy Cat's show, and if you are the type of person, whether you're here in the audience or you're watching this in the future, and you take a license qualification as meaning that the person knows what they're doing, that is a mistake. So one of the things, when I got my investment advisor license, I've been trading on my own account for, 12 years or something like that. And I went through the common progression. I started off when I was younger and dumber. I was doing the penny stock kind of stuff, and then I moved up to, better companies and better stocks, and then I moved into options. And each thing is a learning process. And I wanted to help some people, and I had started having a bunch of tax clients. So I said, maybe I should do this. So, I went and I, did the study course, and, I went through the testing. And essentially, the testing is that, do you understand this law? There's a few laws passed in the early 1930s with the creation of the SEC and all that kind of stuff that you have to know as an investment advisor. Like, you can say this to an insurance company, but you can't say that to an individual, and things like that. There's like a couple questions of like, can you calculate this option trade? But most of it is just, do you understand the regulations? So, there's nothing in the testing about, are you a good investor or are you a good investment manager? So, just be very careful, and don't rely on credentials necessarily to, and that's for all credentials, Series 7, Series 65, Series 66, 63, Series 6, any of those, or the CFA or CFP or any of those. You can't rely on those to know if the person's good at managing money. So, check their track records and see what they've done for other clients and things like that, and make sure that their investment and management philosophy matches yours. And because pretty much all investing approaches kind of work, at least to some degree. But if your rules are not in place such that to make the system work, then it doesn't matter what the rules are, because you will emotionally trade against yourself. Patient Zero, are you serious? You took the Series 7 yesterday? Yeah, Scaredy Cat says he knew way less when he had the licenses than he does now. And yeah, I mean, that's just, age and experience that goes along with that. So yeah, that's just a public service announcement. Don't rely on credentials for knowledge, I guess. And I'm not saying people who have the credentials don't have the knowledge. It's just unrelated. So, find the people who are good at what they do. Anyway, so what was I saying? I don't know. I just got off on my soapbox there. So yeah, I mean, bottom line is the I do remember what I said. Bottom line is, invest or not invest, but play Splinterlands, take some of your earnings, diversify a little bit, possibly into dcity. It's all gravy, and then you can go back and forth, and you can arbitrage between the two. And there was one other announcement I wanted to make, and that was there is this new account called Deck 101, and basically this has come about because of TC Polymath has shut down OtterMaker. So there was a whole, I think, because I think that provided a valuable service. So what I did was created Deck 101, and it's the same kind of functionality. You send a card to if you don't play Splinterlands, you're racist. You send a card to Deck 101, the account, and it sends you back the Dark Energy Crystal burn value plus an extra 1%. Now, right now, like as an introductory promotion, it's actually sending you 4% extra. So, if something's worth, if you set an Untamed Common, which is worth, 10 hive, you'll actually get 10.4 back. So there are a lot of cards out there that really aren't worth going through the trouble of listing for sale and then waiting and going all that, because they're just not worth enough. And sometimes those are, like gold foil legendaries, like the Frost Giant, just nobody buys. So they end up getting burned quite a bit. But rather than burned, you can make yourself 4% extra by sending to the Deck 101 account. So this is the first announcement. I did a little sneak preview on the Buy Sell channel, and there'll be a post coming out later, probably tomorrow morning, talking about the promotion. But yeah, so it's the easy way to dump your cards that you don't want to bother selling and going through the whole process. Plus, when you sell something, you lose 5% anyway, because it's market fees, unless you're doing a private sale. So if the card value is close to the Dark Energy Crystal burn value, then send it to Deck 101 and you'll come out better. Pretty simple. So we've had a couple of people. I know D-Kid has been using it lately, and he's cashing in some golds. All right. Okay. But yeah. So I hope you'll take advantage of that if if the need is a match for you. And that 104% promotion will probably expire by next week, most likely, by the next show. So Patient Zero promises that he's not a negative person. He's all for Black Lives Matter and everything. So and Jessica was talking about whale shares. Yeah. So that's cool. Ron wants a gold account, like a gold level or a gold card, or gold foil. And Patient Zero has a new threatening deck building model. Send me cards, or I'll call you nasty names. But yeah, I'm not sending anybody any accounts. What you can do is you can send deck 101 cards, and then you can make Dark Energy crystals from that. So that's a plus. The gold foil account I never use. I don't have a gold foil account that I never use. I use all my stuff. Actually, that's not true. I've got a bunch sitting idle right now that I still have to set up new accounts for, because Honor Maker and the whole renting thing fell apart. But I'm working on it. So yeah, that is. We are almost out of time. It is 2.5 minutes to the top of the hour. So the next show is Scaredy Cat's investor. Is it Scaredy Cat Investor Show? I can never remember. I don't know why. I think it's just Scaredy Cat Investor Show, right? Yeah, Scaredy Cat Investor Show. So he'll be up next. He'll be talking about all things crypto. Might look at some stocks if you want him to. And usually goes through 4 or 5 different crypto charts, tells you what to look out for, what to expect. And yeah, so stick around for that. And he also plays music sometimes, which I do not. I don't even know how to play music on MSP Waves. So, so that's on me. But so for 13,000 sim, I might sell you some stuff, maybe. That's worth a little bit. But let's look at some charts. Yeah, so that about does it for me. Next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about. So hopefully by next week, the new league system will be in place. They're pretty quick these days now that all the migration stuff is done. So maybe that'll be the topic for next week. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. And until then, we'll talk to you later.